Welcome back, gentlefolk, ferals, and domesticated cryptids, for another astonishing episode of Wonder Bathos. I am your host, Optometron, here with my guest tonight, Queen of Pockets. Queen, how are you doing this evening?
I am wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That game we played is incredible. Super Bunny Man.
Yeah, I'm still like reeling from it. I swear to God, I walked upstairs and I'm just like, oh my God.
I have to confess that this is the first episode that I have looked forward to the game we were playing more than any other game that I've played on the podcast with anybody else so far. You said,
that
hey,
makes me feel so special.
dude, you should. You brought it up when I asked you to be on the episode, and I was like, holy shit, I cannot wait to play this game. It is going to be so fantastic. And it was.
And it was.
And it was. Just like you said earlier, you were like, it's one of those games where you start playing for the memes or whatever, and then you get into it, and you're like, wow, this game is incredible. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I would like for us to go back and finish that game sometime. It would be so much fun.
A hell of a time. I'm sure I'd get a little bit ragey in there because it's one of those games where I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how much I can keep going with this same level.
There were a couple times where you were like, what are you doing? I was just like, am I taking it too far? I'm so sorry.
No,
it's so good.
I get so rage quitty sometimes, and like all of my yelling is totally in jest. Like, I'm not one to yell. I don't like to yell. So it's like when I yell at my friends in video gaming, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No. I didn't take any of it to heart. That's also I tend to bring that out of my friends sometimes. tend to push the marker a little bit too far, but I'm good at recognizing when people get frustrated. I'm like, all right, cool, it's time to back off. Let's be,
good friendship. You got to get a little ragey every once in a while.
You do. It's like when back in school when they're like, oh, you pick on people you like, and it's
exactly.
It's one of those things, like people's energies and stuff, like when they connect. I know that you've probably experienced this before, but like when you like somebody and you're like, I want to make a good impression with this person, like I want this person to be my friend, I want this person to be in my life, and
Absolutely.
and then it's just word vomit, and then you just say like the dumbest things, and you're just like, oh God, I'm screwing this up, this person's gonna think I'm crazy.
So do you like potatoes?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You watch any good documentaries on serial killers lately? Just like weird stuff. And so like
I totally get that.
I think it kind of breaks the ice a little bit when you kind of pick on people a little bit. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, let me just throw you off this cliff in this video game because it's funny.
I'm glad you ended that in a video game.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not in real life.
Throw you off a cliff real quick.
Generally not. I don't usually throw people I like off of cliffs in real life. I reserve
true.
that. I reserve that for special
That's
people.
True. Yes.
So, burning questions. I want the audience to get to know you a little bit more. Where did your name come from? Why Queen of Pockets? Where did that come from?
So back in the day, I was with somebody, my partner. He was known as the King of Pockets. And, when we started getting together, I was like, you know what? Like, Queen of Pockets has kind of a nice ring to it. So we were kind of like the King and Queen of Pockets. Unfortunately, we ended our relationship, and I kept the name, and it's just kind of been my moniker ever since. And I thought about rebranding because of it, and it was kind of hard to shy away from that name because everybody knew me as Queen of Pockets, and
Right.
I love it. I think it's a fun thing that I've branched into with calling my subscribers and followers like my royal subjects and everything. It's just been kind of a thing that I've rolled with, and
That's
I haven't
classy.
gotten a cease and desist from him, so been like. And like, can you stop using that name? Because I had it first. And I'm like, well, technically he did. And the only reason he was
Wait,
the King
you
of
did
Pockets,
receive a cease and desist, or?
No, I didn't. I did not.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that'd be really fucked up. But I also was gonna say more power to you, and hell yes,
Right?
for not letting exes ruin something for you. Because I've been that way before, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. It was like a band, or it was like a movie or something that like I would not watch or listen to because of one of my exes for the longest time. And I was like, you know what, fuck that. I'm not gonna let like something, a person who's not in my life anymore like dictate things that I like.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
So
100%.
hell yeah, keep that name.
And it was funny because I liked how he got his name. He had a coat that had like 37 pockets in it, so which is why he called himself the King of Pockets. So I just thought it was a funny Queen of Pockets, and it's available everywhere. I have yet to see a Queen of Pockets not available on a social media site. I think I've grabbed them all. So
That's awesome. That's the same reason I have my name. My name is the dumbest
yep.
shit ever. Like, I made this name when I was like 15 or 16, and it was for Peach
Oh, so you
Optimos
got an
because I was,
OG name. Man, if
yeah,
I was going with my
yeah,
AOL name, I would not be here right now.
yeah. But it was like Peach Optimos in the movie Tron, and it's
Oh.
yeah. And one time it was like early on in streaming, one of my first streams, somebody in chat was like, "Oh, you put Optimus Prime and Megatron together. That's so cool." And I was like, "That's way cooler. That's like so much
So
cooler than
dope.
what it actually
Yeah.
is." I was like, so that's the story that I'm going to tell people from now on. And then I've
Yep,
never
that's my
told,
lore.
yeah, I've never told anybody that. I just
Oh my
continually
gosh.
tell the story of how dumb my name was before I heard that, because I think that is way funnier.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
It's so
That's
good.
so great.
So, what was your inspiration to get into Twitch and to start streaming?
So it's well known that I'm a huge fan of Game Grumps. I love Dan and Aaron so much. I've been watching them since they started 2012. I originally watched John and Aaron and then got way more into it when Dan joined the show. And one of the people that was in Game Grumps was Rubber Ross, and I really liked him. And he stepped away from YouTube, he stepped away from Game Grumps to start doing his own Twitch channel. And I was like, you know what? I haven't done Twitch. My Twitch account, if you look on my account, I have been a Twitch member since like 2012 when like
Mhm.
Twitch Plays Pokemon came out.
Wow.
So my account is that old, but I didn't really start using Twitch until about the pandemic era, which is when I think Ross switched to Twitch.
Right.
And so I started watching a lot of his streams.
Because wasn't
And
it Justin TV or something until like 2018 or something,
it,
or like
I
close to
thought it
that?
was still Twitch because it was Twitch Plays Pokemon. So it was called
Hmm.
Twitch. But I don't know. I only knew it as Twitch, but I kind of fell off the face of the earth once Twitch Plays Pokemon kind of fell
Right.
off the face of
Right.
the earth. So then what really got me into streaming though was when Ross did his Super Mario Maker 2 level world, like Rubber Ross World or something, and
Right.
he would go like stream snipe people who were playing his worlds, and one of them was Tanuki Dan. And so that's how I found Tanuki Dan, was watching Ross watch people play his worlds. So I fell in love with Dan's channel immediately. He had the
Yep.
toilet scenes, he had the guitar, he had everything about his energy was just phenomenal. And I was like, that's how I met all of my friends. That's how I met you. That's how I met Trip,
Yep.
and like all of these people was through Dan. And all of y'all collectively kind of made me want to get into streaming. Like, I was like, this is really cool. This is really fun. I don't really have a setup for it right now, so I want to support my friends and, build that kind of rep that when I do end up streaming, I'll have a really good support system behind me.
Yeah.
And then I got a computer I got some really good Christmas money and built myself a computer the following year, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. I mean, even I think I've seen some of your off and on times with Twitch, and I mean, when you do stream, you just absolutely crush it. Like
Thanks,
you
friend.
you have a wonderful energy on stream. You have a wonderful
Thanks.
community underneath you, and yeah, and like you're a part of like our giant vast network of streamers, and it's incredible because like almost everybody's answer is the same. It's always like Dan.
Yeah,
Dan
it's
got
Dan.
yeah, Dan was my back in 2018, like Dan was the first streamer that I watched, and he was how I found Twitch and got into Twitch, and I watched him for about 3 months, and then I was like, hey, I love this, I want to do it. And like I even remember like messaging him and being like, hey man, like, I know you play like acoustic guitar and stuff on your stream. Like, would you be mad if I did that? And he was like, fuck no, dude, do it. And I was like, thank you. I was like, I don't want to like steal your thing.
Yeah, so undan of him to say like, no, fuck off.
Right. No, I mean, it wasn't, I think I knew that he wouldn't say no, but also like anything that helps you stand apart. Now, also with anything artistry, music or anything otherwise, great artists borrow, and then the best artists steal ideas, and like
that's a good point.
And there's nothing that you can play or do that hasn't already been done before, but you can take that and kind of mold it in your own style,
right.
and make it your own, and so great
like
ideas.
How all those songs have the same like 4 chords, but they're all different songs. Like,
yeah,
there's only so many notes in the world that you're gonna end up kind of blurring those lines with other songs, which is
Oh
why
yeah.
some songs sound like others. It's like, wait, I've heard this riff in this 1950s song, but
Yeah.
it's in a 2010 song. It's, well, like, yeah, it's gonna happen. Sometimes it's done purposely, but like there's only so many notes in the world.
That's why,
So
like, artists that get butthurt about it, man, I hate it so much. Like, I love the
yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins, but Billy Corgan is a dick, dude. Every time
It's William Corgan.
dude, William Corgan. Every time I see an interview with that dude, he's like, yeah, this band stole this song that I wrote in 1994, and I'm just like, dude, really? Like, I'm pretty sure somebody's played those chords before you did, you know?
Mhm.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
I agree.
So I know that you have been going pretty ham and you're pretty serious about the streaming lately. What are your
Mhm.
goals and ambitions with it? Where are you going with it?
So it's funny when people ask me about my goals and stuff. I don't really have goals. Like, you have like Twitch goals and stuff. Like, I want to reach X amount of followers. I want to have X amount of subs and everything. But like, I've kind of shied away from having too many goals because then I feel like I have to make my own goals, and then I feel like when I'm not obtaining those goals, I feel like I'm letting myself down. And I'm kind of just going with the flow. Like, whenever people come in, I'm not worrying about numbers. Like, and a lot of people, well, don't you want to hit partner? And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's not like the end all be all for me, like it is for some people who like make it a goal. Hey, I'm doing a partner push. Like, I really want to make this. Like, I kind of do it. I fell in love with it because it connected me to people because of the pandemic. And I couldn't see people. I had an essential job at the time, and I was seeing people I didn't really want to see. And it kind of gave me a safe space to come in and talk with like-minded people who liked the same things I did, or I felt like had good chemistry with. And I could do something that I love, which is playing video games. I love playing video games. I have since I was like 5 years old. Ever since I could probably hold something in my hand, I've been playing a Game Boy and everything since. And it kind of mixed those passions, and it never really became about goals for me. It just became, I wanted to create a safe space for people to come in to feel like they can unload their burdens from the day that they had and just, mellow out, lurk if they want to, no obligation to stay or sub or follow or anything. Sorry, that's an alarm going off. And I don't know, that like goals is kind of a tough word for me because I don't do streaming as content heavy as some people do. Like, you have it across all social medias and everything, and I kind of just go with the flow, and if I have a goal, I'll make it, and I'll try and overwhelm myself with it.
That was so eloquently put. You started cutting out for a second. Is your internet cutting out or something? Nope. There you are. You're
It
back.
might
You're back.
be.
You cut out for a
Yeah,
second.
I noticed a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it was right there at the end, because wow, holy shit, that was very eloquently put, and I absolutely love the phrasing and stuff that you used for that, because that was
Well, thank you.
that was really well put. As somebody who's been on both sides of it, like, I definitely understand that, and like I feel like I'm in a very healthy mindset about stuff now, because when I first
And
started,
you want to be.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. When I first started, I mean, there was no numbers to like worry about, you know what I mean? There was nothing there. It was just the passion. It was, I'm gonna play video games either way. I might as well stream it and try to make some new friends, you know?
Absolutely. That's 100%. I'm like, I'm gonna play this game anyway, so might as well just hang out with people while I do it.
Yeah, exactly. And then I went full time with it and like started trying to make a career out of it, and like then it was every stream was like concerned about the numbers, watching stuff fall and grow back up, and like always constantly worrying about that, and it sucked all the fun out of it. Like, it was just every stream was like do or die, you know? And
Absolutely.
and then I took a hiatus and took like 6 months off, and when I came back, like I rediscovered like what made me fall in love with it in the first place, and that was just hanging out with my friends, hanging out with my friends, doing, whatever they wanted to do, playing video games and not worrying about that stuff. And now, like, I do pay attention to my numbers, but I don't get butthurt about it, and I don't like get into my feelings about it.
Over it.
Well, no, yeah, you don't obsess about it, but like I feel like it can be a useful tool. Like, the analytics can be a useful tool, because like if something gets said or if you do something on a stream and you see like your numbers start to drop a little bit from there, obviously you know that you did something that turned people off, and that can be a
Right.
useful tool because you can go, okay, well, people don't like that, probably
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't do that anymore. And I think a lot of people could benefit from that if they can do it without obsessing over the numbers and like getting into their feelings about it too, you know.
That's a really good point. I never thought of it that way. Like looking at your numbers and analyzing, like, ooh, because I go back, I admit, I'll go back and watch my VODs and kind of like relate. And it's mostly for like checking sound issues, checking sound levels. How is the game music compared to my voice? Because like nobody really tells me in chat. They're kind of just goofing off and having a good time.
Right.
So like a lot of people don't want to call out tech issues. And I'm like, no, call me out on my tech issues,
Yeah,
please. Like
exactly.
I want to provide the best
Exactly.
streaming experience. Like, if I
Please.
sound like this in my fucking microphone and then my music's all the way here, like it's not a good balance and stuff. So
Right.
I'll watch back the VODs and stuff, but I've never even thought to like think about what I'm saying that might drive people away, and
Right.
that's kind of a good note to stick in my brain.
Right.
Just not
You
that I'm
can
worried about what I'll say, but
a lot of
just kind of be
people
more conscientious about it.
a lot of people don't watch their VODs, you know, and
Hmm.
again, going back to the numbers thing, like you can watch your own VODs to see yourself and get a better idea of a better perspective of yourself and how you present yourself as an entertainer without
Yeah,
ever looking at your numbers. You know, you can see
absolutely.
things that like, hey, I don't like when I do that, or
Hmm.
I picked my nose that stream, like I probably shouldn't have done that, you know, and like learn a bit more about yourself and your own body
Absolutely.
chemistry and stuff, you know.
Like,
It's
I've
like
gone
being a
back and
rock
I've seen.
star. Like you got
Yes,
to
yes,
jam
yes,
out in
yes.
front of the mirror, you know.
Absolutely. You kinda gotta test it on yourself. There have been VODs where I've gone back and watched where I'm like, "Wow, I could kinda tell that I wasn't really having the best day because my energy wasn't so great, I wasn't really connecting with chat all that much." And then that kinda makes me step back and be like, "Maybe if I'm really not feeling it, I shouldn't push myself to stream." And that's
Right.
kinda where I was with my job and everything, because I quit my job to pursue Twitch, not full time as people call it, but it was something that I was passionate about, and I just turned 30, so I wanted to go into a new decade with like doing things for myself and doing things that I'm passionate about and finding yourself, because I believe that everybody finds their self in their 30s. That's what
Yeah.
I keep hearing anyway. So
Take it from
I'm
somebody. I am about to turn 35 and we're about to have our second kid, and I am the
yeah,
happiest that I have ever been in my entire life.
absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. So, like, that's what I'm kind of aiming for is following those passions, seeing where it leads me, just kind of living my life day to day, and kind of just not letting myself choose when my bad days are, because my job was making me have a bad day like every day, and then
Right.
I would have 4 hours to myself, and I'm like, well, I had a shit day at work. I don't really want to put my shit attitude on stream because it's not gonna go over well.
Right.
So having that opportunity, and like I was in a good place to be able to quit my job, thankfully. And then so being able to put my passions first and be like, you know what? I'm having a great day. I'm not letting anything stop me. I'm going to put my best face on stream and we're going to have a good time. So
Yeah,
then I can kind
exactly.
of dedicate my best self, because I felt like I wasn't really giving my community my best self. And you're only as good as, I don't know, you feel that day. If so, I don't know. That's
It
I
it's
went on a
it's
tangent there, but
it's the no, that's perfect. I love it. I love it. I have a couple things that I want to say on that. Like you're absolutely right, and I think that it doesn't matter what age you are. You know, like you only have one life to live, and life is short, and you should go for your dreams. You know, go for your dreams,
absolutely.
follow your dreams. If you do have goals or whatever, do that. You know, like
Mhm.
I have failed a great many things in my life, and I regret none of them. You know,
Absolutely. As
I
you
tried to
shouldn't.
be a full-time musician at one point, and I was doing not shows every weekend and touring, and that was incredible, and those are life experiences I'll have with me for the rest of my life. Twitch, I tried to be a full-time streamer and tried to make that a career. Didn't work out, but I will always remember those times as me going for what I wanted to do and me trying to live my dream, and I regret none of that. me and my wife, when we first got together, we opened up a comic and toy shop. You know, we were doing, yeah, dude, we were vendoring Comic Cons in the surrounding states every weekend, and like we barely broke even, but we had the time of our lives. You know, staying in hotels and going to all these Comic Cons, hanging out with celebrities, getting drunk at fucking 10 o'clock in the morning. Shit was badass. I would never. I would never do anything to take those memories away. And I think that a lot of people, you know, so my best advice for anybody listening would be, you know, follow your passions, follow your dreams, you know, make smart decisions. Definitely anything that you want to do, try to be as smart as possible about it and as calculatory as possible about it. But follow those dreams. And if they don't work out, hey, you went for it. How many people can say that, you know?
Aim for the star, or what is it, like aim for the moon, at least if you fail you'll land among the stars, or something cheesy like that.
No, it's not cheesy. That's badass. I love that. If I was gonna get something tattooed on me, it'd be something like that, you know, like a word saying.
Funny about the like fail type thing where like you kind of learn from your failures and everything. My housemate person and I have been watching Glow Up, which is this like Netflix BBC show about makeup artists. Okay. And one of the judges is was telling somebody who was leaving, someone got eliminated, and he's like, you know, there's 3 things you can do. You can do it, try, and fail. And what you do is you keep repeating. Doesn't matter if you fail, you just pick yourself back up, you try, you do it, and if you fail again, you got to just bring yourself back up, and don't allow those failures to make you stop, because like failure to err is to human. And you're going to learn from those mistakes, and those will only make you stronger, because you'll go back and look at those moments, be like, I didn't do that right. Now I know how to make it right. Exactly.
To err is human. And to err is to human.
Yeah, to err is to human.
To err is to human. I want a t-shirt that says that. It's so good. No, it's like 1,000.
Guy in Zelda 2, that's I am error.
Yeah, I am error.
That's what I'm going to say.
That is 1,000% correct, though. You know, nobody ever starts out really good at something. You know, you have to keep on trying and go for what you want. But also, I mean, if you try something and I mean, it doesn't work out and you want to go try something different, you know what I mean? Don't feel bad about that either, you know? Like,
absolutely.
Don't shoulder that as like a failure, you know? It's a life experience. It's a learning experience. And, you know, I hate to quote, what's that guy's name? Gary V. Because like that dude, though, my one problem, do you know who Gary V is?
No, I'm curious.
I will send you some of his video. I don't know. That's a slippery slope. I feel like if I send you one of his videos, your feed is going to be full of his shit. He's like, he's like a wine company connoisseur guy. And he like built his own fortune and built his own empire. But now he does like a lot of motivational talking and stuff. Some of his stuff is really good. He does have a lot of really good wisdom that I think a lot of people could take to heart. But he also has an answer for literally everything, and it kind of pisses me off sometimes. It's like they're just trying to talk to you. You don't have to like, oh, how are you doing today? Well, blah 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 blah. You know, and it's like, dude, calm, pump the brakes.
You just say good.
Yeah, it's okay to just say good, but just like everything in life, you know, like nothing is ever going to be handed to you, you know, and like I try to remember that every day. Like I feel like I'm so fortunate and so lucky in my life in all aspects, even though I wish things were better, even though I wish I had this or that, or wish I could do this, you know, or had more time to work on these other things, you know. You are responsible for your own life, and like nobody is ever going to do that stuff for you. Like you have to take the initiative and do that stuff. And talked about it a bit briefly on the stream earlier, that like I feel like there are 2 types of people that need to be told like how to do things and what to do, and then there are people that take the initiative to learn how to do things on their own. And I feel like our society is just, with technology and everything, is moving to this path where everything is going to be laid out for people, you know, like you're not going to be like, here's the kitchen, here's some recipes, you know, figure out how to cook shit. It's going to be like every single step of the way is going to be laid out, and there's going to be no guesswork involved in any of that, you know. And I don't know,
which kind of is a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah, it really is. I was going to say that. I was like, I don't know how to feel about that exactly.
I heard you starting to say that. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Because I mean, look at it like art, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
the AI art stuff, you know, like everybody's so apprehensive about it. So many artists are pissed off about it, and like I don't think that AI art is ever going to be able to capture like the pain and the error of human hands, you know, brush
Mm-hmm.
strokes, you know, like the inconsistencies and stuff like that that makes art beautiful, you know. And what if they can do it digitally, you know, that's one thing, whatever, fine. Start painting on canvas again, because people are still
Yeah.
going to want that. People are still going to want canvas paintings with that human emotion built into it,
Right,
you
where they
know.
can like see the physical brush strokes and like
Yeah.
touch the paint and everything.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Feel the artist emotion, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, it got
No, you're good.
no, I was waiting for you to say something, and you were waiting on me to say something, and
There's always
um
gonna be one point of those where it's like, "Are you done? Am I done? I don't
every
know."
episode, yeah, there's at least one spot like that. Usually I'm pretty good about just segueing into something different, but
Mhm.
I literally like
There's always that one time.
you were very eloquent with your words, and I'm just like I'm waiting for
Oh
like
man, thank
what you want
you.
to talk about. Dude, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much
Usually
for
words come really difficult to me. Like I have a hard time. I have dyslexia and it's really hard. Even when I'm talking, like not even with writing and stuff cuz like I this is kind of a humble brag, but it's also kind of a not humble brag. I got tested for ADHD because I felt like something was a little off with me
right.
and just, you know, kind of you start to explore your own mind and notice that things, you know, you're not like other people and you kind of want to narrow it down what it was. And so I like to joke that my ADHD test came back negative. And so I didn't have ADHD, but one thing that stood out to me was one of the four like pillars of testing for ADHD is your processing power, which is how fast your brain can retain like process information
Mhm.
when it's given to you. I scored in the 99.6th percentile for brain processing speed,
Hell
which
yeah.
means my brain when I look at something, my brain processes it like the speed of light.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult. I've taken that and it's strengthened things for me. It's worsened things for me. But one thing that's happened is it's funny that you say I speak so eloquently, but like my brain's moving a million miles a minute right now and I have about 1500 thoughts in my head and it's my mouth will move faster than my brain, which on stream I'll like be talking so much and then all of a sudden I'll just just blah,
It's like your
like
brain
no
hits a
more.
roadblock or something, or stumbles over
Absolutely.
its own feet.
It does. And my mouth and, like, I'll be reading something and my brain's already reading the 11th word, but my eyes are still on the second word. So I, like, skip a whole sentence and I'm like, I'm not even paying attention to what I'm reading. My brain's just going way ahead of me.
That's
So
crazy. That's crazy that
maybe
you
it's
don't have ADHD. That's
yeah.
wow. I mean, because I kind of do the same thing, and like I would think that if I were to go get tested, I would have ADHD too. But the fact that
I was
you
really
don't, that's
shocked.
incredible.
They told me my brain was too stimulated, so they didn't wanna give me any stimulants like what Adderall is and stuff.
Right.
So, like,
That's fair.
mostly ADHD medicines are stimulants, and they're like, "No, your brain is so stimulated, we don't wanna give you
Yeah.
stimulants." So,
You need to destimulate your brain. Your
yeah.
brain's too stimulated. You're
It was really shocking to
overstimulated.
find out I didn't have ADHD. Like, I don't know if I was convinced that I was, but my scores, they told me I don't wanna go too, like, personal into this,
No,
but I don't really mind talking
go
about
as
it.
much personal as you want. I got
Yeah,
blurry on
I'm
screen for a second, so I'm just trying to get my camera to correct.
oh,
Please
you're fine.
get as
I'm such a
personal as you
huge
feel comfortable with.
I'm a huge proponent for like mental health. I will always advocate for that. I am such a huge advocate for speaking out for mental health and making sure that everyone is taking care of themselves. I talk about it a lot in my streams. I'm very open about it. And what's interesting is when my testing results came back, they couldn't really decipher what was going on in my brain. So they couldn't really call it ADHD, but they were testing for ADHD. They're like, well, if you want to find out other things, maybe the things we were testing for aren't what you were looking for. Because the testing that I did, it was too ranged because my brain was in the processing power was in the 99th percentile. Something else was in like the 50th percentile and something else was in like the 14th. They're like, you're too varied to give you a score. So what you're looking for might not be ADHD.
It's crazy
And
that you broke it down like that, because like if you think about your brain like a computer, like maybe like your graphics card or your CPU is like awesome, it's like top of the line shit, but then like you just don't
right.
have enough RAM to power it, you know?
Exactly. That's kind of 100% what it was. Like I was super high scored in that, but like a little other things were kind of, a little bit not so great. And I look at my results and I'm like, this is fascinating that we as humans can test this because the brain is such a wonderful and marvelous thing. I wanted to go into psychology when I was in school and I never ended up following through with
Same.
it.
I
It
studied
was
and took a couple psychology classes like right out of
it's
high
just
school.
so amazing what the human brain can do. And like the fact that we're all controlled by this little mush meat, all that's up here.
Yep.
And
A little bit of gray
it
matter.
right. And nobody can definitively prove anything that happens up there. It's all speculation. And
Yeah.
it's all just done by testing and like comparing those scores to other
looking at
things.
patterns. They just look at
Mhm.
patterns, and that's kind of how they score and do all that stuff. It
It's
is
fascinating
wild.
to me. So fascinating. So that
I
was kind of a tangent thing about speaking eloquently, just because I feel like it's so the opposite to me. And I feel like I have such a limited vocabulary compared to people. And
You should test yourself, like do some crossword puzzles at some point, you
oh,
know?
I love
Like
crossword puzzles. Oh
oh,
my
see,
God.
there you go. So your vocabulary probably isn't limited. Your vocabulary is just probably so deep rooted that like you need those like those things to connect the dots almost like
Mhm.
so like if you look at a crossword puzzle and you get a clue, you're like, oh, that's this word, and it's some
Yeah.
crazy word that you would never use in regular conversation, but
Day-to-day life. Yeah.
but you can like grab that out of the library inside your head super quick.
Hmm.
I kind of feel that way too. Like I'm like, I know all these big words, but I just say fuck every 3 words because it just fits everything I need it for. It's just the
Same.
perfect word. Yeah.
It is. It's every part of speech. Fuck is a noun, an adjective, a verb, like everything. It's the perfect part of speech.
It is. It really is. What's crazy about that is we're watching the show called The Expanse right now. Have you heard of that show?
No, I don't watch a lot of TV
You don't
outside of
watch a lot of TV?
Netflix and
Okay.
you.
Well, it is. It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
We haven't watched cable in like I haven't watched cable in over a
Who even has
decade.
cable anymore? Like,
Exactly. Who has cable? Who has a landline?
we saw, okay, I want to spin off on that. We saw a landline for sale at Target the other day, and I was just like, why?
Who?
Why
Yeah.
would you want a cordless landline in your house these days? It's 2023, people. Like, if you don't have a cell phone, you're probably 95.
I'll just imagine paying for two phone lines. Imagine having like a house line, like a landline, and then paying for a cell phone too. Like the only people that are ever calling you on the house phone are going to be like scam artists
Scam
and
people. Yeah. But I've heard that
telemarketers.
some people keep their landlines for that same reason. I've read that, or I heard somewhere, someone I know, or I read somewhere that most people keep their landlines as their scam number. So like that's the number they put when they fill out shit on the internet, is they put their landline number. So
Do those people know
their
they can
cell
just
phone-
put a fake number? Like they don't have to.
I didn't
put
even know
your
you could put a fake number. I didn't even think about that until now.
You could just put a fake number down. You don't have to put your real phone number down.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. Everything important. I mean, everything government, everything doctor wise or
Mhm.
medical, like they do everything through email, really. I mean, and your cell phone. But my
Yeah.
cell phone, I never changed any of my settings, but there's caller
Mhm.
ID now. It'll
Mhm.
say like spam caller,
Yeah,
suspected spam
scam
caller,
likely.
or it'll be like healthcare calling, and I'm like, oh, healthcare obviously is probably okay, right?
I should probably pick that up.
And then it's like you owe us like money for an urgent care visit from 6 years ago, and it's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have answered that.
I shouldn't have answered that. Yeah. Your gut reaction. It's like, damn it.
But still, it said healthcare, so I felt okay about answering it. So it's okay.
Right. As you should. So I forgot what we were talking about before. I was like, Target had landlines.
Brain stuff.
Brain stuff. Yeah.
Landlines. I did have something else I want to talk about on the brain stuff. It's crazy that you said that like we still don't know anything about it. We have machines now that can actually like make, if you're dreaming, they can show pictures of what you're dreaming about, but we still have no idea what dreams are, like what their purpose is. Like what
That's
is the
terrifying.
point? It is. That's crazy. That is like some Twilight Zone shit.
I'm thinking back to all the dreams I've had recently. I'd be like, I don't want to relive that. I don't want to replay that. I don't want anyone to see that.
Right.
It's like Black Mirror shit.
It really is. It really is. My theory, and branch off and get all like supernatural, like paranormal
Oh,
shit.
please do.
Well, like my theory, because we don't know what dreams are. Like, I think the dreams are kind of like alternate dimensions, almost like a peek into like what. I mean, if the multiverse, they've proven through quantum mechanics that the multiverse is real. There is an infinite number of universes out there that are parallel to our own, except for maybe tiny changes or maybe big changes.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
and so like. Maybe dreams are just like a window into those alternate worlds. You know, that's why you see familiar faces, or you might see faces that aren't familiar, or like,
Right.
for some reason you're a cowboy, you know, like you have no idea what the fuck's going on over there. But it feels so real, you know, and
does.
when you're lucid dreaming.
And it would kind of make sense with the whole thing that I read that your brain can't create faces. Like the human brain is physically impossible of creating a face.
Right.
So everyone that you see in your dream is either someone you passed on the street, someone you know, someone you've just kind of grazed by at the mall or whatever. That was a dated reference. Who fucking goes to the mall anymore? But you know what I mean? Like that kind of makes sense with that whole theory that the brain can't create a face. Every face you've seen is somebody that you know.
You know what's crazy about that is I've heard that before, and like pretty close to after hearing that for the first time, I had a dream, and I remember specifically in the dream there was a person there that I had never seen their face before, and I remember thinking in the dream that, wow, this is crazy. I've never seen this person before.
You Inception.
You know? Maybe. Well, like, because I mean, when you see, like, I mean, I'm just gonna call them NPCs, but there are people in my dreams that I've never seen before, but I never think anything of it. I'm like, okay, well, like, they're probably somebody that I passed on the street, or like, there's somebody that, you know, I've seen before. Like, somehow I just knew that, like, in my brain that I had seen this person somehow, some way before. But then this one person and one time in my entire life of dreams, I was like, I just knew. I was like, I've never seen this person before. This is the wildest, like,
Well, thanks for
crazy.
shitting all over my theory here.
No, I believe it. I believe your theory. That's why I just that one-off situation just feels very like weird. It just felt really out of place that I saw.
Kind of a
but
glitch
also,
in the Matrixy type thing.
yeah, kind of. But also, it was like a very like kind of Wild Westy, like, not to bring up the cowboy thing again, but it was a very like Wild Westy, like steampunk kind of scenario. There were like big like steam machines and stuff, and it just seemed like, I don't know. It felt like that Will Smith Wild Wild West movie, kind of like it was just some weird shit going on in that dream that made no sense. It was not like, oh, well, you passed by the post office today and you saw a new dog, so now you're gonna have a dream about seeing that dog in the post office. It was just way out of place and nothing made sense. Like,
and that's what dreams are, though. Nothing makes sense in dreams, I swear to gosh.
They don't. They really don't. And it's like, it was Mitch Hedberg talk about it. He's like, man, I just wish I could just sleep. He's like, I'm supposed to be resting. I don't want to build a go-kart with my landlord. And it's like, fuck, that's so accurate. Like,
it's so true. Oh my gosh.
Like, I
that
just
guy
want
was
to sleep.
The king of one-liners. Oh my gosh.
He was. Mitch Hedberg was
Rest
amazing.
in peace, man.
No, so yeah, so much crazy stuff like that. And like, I'm going to segue into just kind of where the world is heading, like, technologically nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, man, we are living in a very weird historical era right now. Like, I think we are going to see some big shit in the next 10 years that is, like, unlike anything the Earth has ever seen before. And what a time to be alive, you know?
Absolutely. I'm just sick of living through, like, 3 major historical events in my lifetime. Like,
yeah.
Like, I would love to go 1 decade where I don't have a major historical moment happen that's going to show up on Wikipedia for years to come, you know?
Well, I have bad news.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Is World War III upon us?
I mean, I don't know about World War III. I the optimist in me, not to pun on my name or whatever, but the optimist in me really wants to believe that things are going to get better. Like, I really think that everything right now is driven by like greed and capitalism and like power hungry, like, people, you know, just wanting control and all the money and all that shit. And I can't help but see this eventuality where like none of that matters. Like what happens, what happens when all these big companies, they have all the money, everybody's poor, nobody can afford anything, like, so what happens then? Are we really going to go into some sort of like pseudo dystopia
Ready
where like
Player
people,
One type shit.
yeah, or like people are selling their organs because they literally have nothing else left to give to survive, and I don't think so. Like I think that it's going to come to a point where people are going to be like, well, shit, like, okay, well, maybe we should try something different. Maybe we should work as a single, like as a unit together, because we're all
Right.
people, and we should all work
Come together as humanity.
yeah, for the greater good. It's not going to be like a capitalist race to see who has the bigger house or who has the better TV or like any of that shit or the better car. Like all that shit's outdated. None of it means anything. None of it matters. Like let's work on sustaining the human race. Let's work on figuring out the cure to cancer, and like let's work on colonizing the stars and like shit that's gonna propel the human race. Yeah, taking care of the planet, shit like that, instead of just taking everything. Let's work together to give.
I think that is very optimistic. Like I like to think of myself as a cautiously optimistic type of person. Like I like to think I'm a lot of people will tell me that I'm a very pessimistic person. I think very negatively, and I've been told that so many times, which would be shocking if you like knew me on the internet. You wouldn't think I'm this most negative or pessimistic person ever.
Before you continue, there's a big difference between being realistic and being negative, okay? I'm just gonna say that.
I think I'm realistic. I think I tend to be a little bit more realistic about things, and I kind of go into that whole mentality positively as like nothing matters, we're all gonna die. And like those small scale things, like worrying about, I used to have real bad anxiety about saying something to somebody and then worrying that they're going to think about that for the rest of the day. And I'm like, and I would get so focused on that, like, oh my God, I can't believe I spoke to that person that way. They're going to go home and be like, oh my God, that bitch just said that to me. And she's going to, I hope all this. And they're just going to be thinking about that. And my brain just kind of, it's that processing power too. Like I spiral and then it over processes those things. And it's like, yeah, she is going to think about those things. And you're going to be looked at as a horrible person and nobody's going to like you. And it just kind of snowballs. And what's kind of helped me ground myself is like, I try to think about myself in that perspective. Like somebody said something wrong to me, I'd be like, okay, that's weird. Like that person just said something really weird to me. And then I just go about my day. Right. So why do I obsess about them thinking that about me? Everyone's just kind of so focused and wrapped in themselves that I don't feel like people are taking account for other people in the world. And they're just, it's kind of like a whole me aspect. And kind of goes along, not to get political because I like kind of want to shy away from that kind of stuff, but recently in the whole political light, like I asked my mom, I'm like, has things always been like this or has it just recently gotten really terrible? And she's like, no, things have gotten worse. It used to be what's good for the country and now it's kind of what's good for me.
Right.
And I feel like the whole two-party system is kind of a failure in this society. It worked in 1776 when everybody wore wigs and nobody cared about shit and we didn't have cell phones and all we cared about was who owned land in New England and that garbage. But like, I don't feel like people representing the whole populace shouldn't be black and white. I think we should have, I don't know. Like,
no, I agree totally. Not to get into actual politics, but I agree 1,000%. I think when the laws were made and all that shit, like they had no idea what kind of technology we would have nowadays. There's no reason for us to go through any sort of state representative or any sort of house like none of that shit makes any sense anymore because we have the internet. Right? They could be like, hey, somebody proposed a law. We're going to vote on it at Friday at 6 p.m. Everybody who wants to vote, make sure that you pull out your cell phone and vote on this day at that time, and then they can take a vote of the entire country at one time. And if anybody's worried about security or anything like that, it's no less
It's no less
fallible
secure. Yeah.
than doing voting booths, you know,
Right.
and we
Where
can
someone
vote
can
on
just
shit a
like
lot
peek around your
quicker.
curtain. Yeah, it will go so much faster. Oh my gosh.
You know, none of that. And I mean, with computers and stuff nowadays, I mean, all these shows always have like a robot president. It's always like, oh, the great algorithm, you know, and it's like, dude, well, if that's the route we're heading, like, we need to just go ahead and pull the trigger on that. You know, there's
And I
a
have to
quantum
embrace it at
computer.
this point.
There's a quantum computer from the 80s that's been collecting everybody's data since the 80s, you know, that can predict your moves to a T. Like, it knows everything
Yeah.
about us. And I'm sure if we were to
Wow.
ask it, hey, like, how do we make things better? It would probably spit out a pretty decent answer of how we can work together and do things better. You know, again, the
Sounds about
optimist
right.
in me.
Yeah. No,
But
I 100% agree.
yeah, but I think I don't know, just outside perspective, I think that just shows like your character, like you just care a lot about people and you care a lot about affecting others. And it's great that you said, you know, on the great scale of things, nothing we do matters. We're on a cosmic scale. We are all insignificant. You know, if one of us were to not be here tomorrow, the world's going to keep spinning. Things are going to still keep happening because the universe just does not give a fuck about anybody. But
No.
on the flip side of that, in your bubble, like in your world, your bubble, you are everything, you know, and you have
Yes.
the power to create reality around you and to affect and touch the lives of the people around you. And that is what makes life beautiful, you know?
I 100% agree, because that's like the whole reason I started streaming, going back to like full circle type thing. Like,
Yep.
that's why I started having the streaming and why I love the way I do. Like, people would say I'm a lot. I would say I'm passionate about a lot of things. I'm such a people pleaser, and I love making other people happy. And that's totally like, I don't like making myself happy, as negative as that sounds. I'd rather have the people around me be happy, because then that makes me happy. So
Right.
then I try to make friends and try to make them feel good and welcome on into my safe spaces. And yes, I want to be my friend, because like, I want to take care of you and I want to love you until you die and tell you so many positive things about you, because you
Hell yeah.
deserve that.
Yeah.
And I love I have this saying, I love people, but like, not as a whole. I love humanity, but not people. Or like, I love a person, but not people. I don't know
Right.
how I used to say it, but
I mean, no, I get it. That's perfect. That's perfect. There's a lot of like, not very religious, but there is a lot of evil out there in the world, you know, and there's a lot of people that do a lot of evil shit. And as far as like, I don't know, it's really hard to take care of people that you've never met before, you know, or people that you don't know anything about, that aren't a part of your daily life. And I kind of, again, going back to the bubble, you know, I kind of feel like if people were to take care of the people that are in arm's length, you know, you take care of the people around you, they take care of the people around them, that shit spreads, you know.
absolutely.
And then everybody kind of takes care of each other. And
You get
you know,
put good out and you'll get good in. And
yeah,
or like, get good.
get good,
I don't know.
nerd.
Get good.
Get good, nerd, and then you
Get good with speaking, nerd.
give good, nerd, and then you get good.
Give like, you put good out, you'll get good back. I did like dating profiles and stuff, and it never worked out, but I was my authentic, genuine self, because I believe that if you put your best self out there, people will give you their best self back,
Oh
because
my
they
God,
feel
preach,
they
preach.
yeah, they feel the real energy. And that's why I'm so honored and just speechless when people come into my stream, because I am being my genuine self. I'm weird, I'm kooky, I don't know how to describe myself. I'm just kind of
No,
I'm
weird and
queen. Like,
kooky,
that
that's fine. Yeah, I love
weird
it.
and kooky, comfy, chaotic, like that kind of energy. And like, but I want to stay true to myself and be real and bring in those people that also want to feel like they can be themselves
Yeah.
around me, because that's like, you're not your best self if you're not being yourself.
That's true. That's true. And hardcore. I think that's why a lot of relationships don't work out and people have a problem meeting new people and sticking in relationships, is because when you first meet somebody, like, again, you want to put on your knee-jerk reaction is to put on your best self and to be like the best version of yourself, because you want to impress that person. And then after an undisclosed amount of time, 3 months or whatever,
The real you
the
seeps
real you
out.
comes out and you start getting comfortable, and then the other person's like, whoa, like, you're not the same person, and then that ends up Like, where's the person I fell in love with? Because that shit is exhausting, you know. Like, it's so much work to put on that version of yourself. I tell people like this, and no joke, if you really like somebody and you're on a first date, you fart in front of them. Here's why. I'm not kidding. You think I'm not kidding. Not a joke.
No, I'm laughing because I know you're not kidding.
It's so perfect. Because one, it's an icebreaker. Two, if that makes them not want to be around with you or go on a second date with you, then they were not going to be for you anyway. So you're nipping it in the bud. They were not going to be for you anyway. And if they laugh and they stay, then you found yourself a keeper. You know,
but what if you can't fart on command?
Like, I mean, second date, whatever. It doesn't have to be on the first date, you know. But I'm just saying, like, if you throw that in there early on, it establishes a comfortability between the two people, you know. And like I said, it's a very good icebreaker. You have a laugh, you kind of have a story, an inside joke that you can laugh back and forth about. But you're absolutely right. I'm just going along with what you were saying, where if you're not yourself, you know, your true comfortable self, you know, I feel like when you fall in love with somebody, if it's going to be real, you fall in love with their flaws first. And then
absolutely.
And then what really shines out is those moments where they are their best self, you know, and like that is something special.
Oh, man, right to the heart there.
I'm gonna write love stories.
Yeah, that affected me. Woo, that got me a little bit. Because we all have our flaws, and we're all human. Like, to err is to human, and
to err is to human. It's so good. It's so good. Oh god, that's going in the description. It's gonna be like this episode number 20. To err is to human.
They're gonna be like, wow, this episode fucked up a lot.
It's gonna be deep. Yeah, no, it's so good. This episode has been so good from start to finish.
Yes, awesome. I've been having a blast. Like, literally, I feel like I've known you many years, and I feel like feel like that a lot. Same. I feel like that with a lot of this community that we've built, I've built, all these people have built. Like, it's just like attracts like, strange attracts strange, weird attracts weird, and I feel like all of these people that I've met through Twitch and everything, I feel like I've known them, even though I've only known them X amount of years. Like, I feel like I've known you way longer than that, brother. And like, I feel like I could go on talking to you all night. And like, what's funny is, like, you and I don't interact on a regular basis, and like, yeah, I'll come in, you'll hang out in my stream. Like, I feel like that's what kind of solidifies true friendship, is you can not talk for a period of time, but pick up exactly where you left off, and there's no awkwardness. You know everybody, you know each other already, you kind of know what they're about and everything, so you know what to talk about. There's no weird silences. Just, you're so comfortable with each other that you can kind of just be like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, how's shit going? Like,
absolutely,
it's such a beautiful thing between humans. And I read that that's kind of maybe a more neurodivergent trait, where people,
I believe that,
notice,
for sure.
Notice that, like, time, that gap, but like, it all of a sudden it disappears. Like, you don't see anybody for a couple months. Like, I don't talk to my best friend every day, but like, I know that they're still my best friend, and I know that the next time we meet, it's just gonna be like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, everything's awesome. And I know I haven't talked to you in months, but like, I'm really sorry about that. And I feel like the people who understand that understand. Like, as we get older, it's harder to maintain friendships, and I think just because everybody goes their own way, has their own lives, people have kids, people move, but you kind of have that general understanding of shit happens, I'll see you when I see you, type stuff.
Exactly. I 1000%, I believe that. So you just pick up where you left off. You can go months without talking to somebody. It's like oh god, I was gonna say something here. This is my one. This is my one for this episode, where I kind of have the brain fart or whatever.
You had the one thing you were gonna talk about, and then whoop, it's gone.
No, it's not the one thing I was gonna talk. It's just the one thing I was gonna add to what you were saying, was just like, you know, especially as we get older, you know, people, dude, you understand how busy life gets, you know, especially when you get older. Like, you know that, like, people have other things going on. It's not like, it's not like, oh shit, I haven't talked to you in 3 months because I don't like you, or because I don't want you to be my friend anymore. It's because, like, damn, dude, I just had shit going on. Also, my brain, my mentally ill brain can't wrap itself around time, you know.
Totally.
Like we're on episode 20 of Wonder Bathos. I feel like it's the second episode, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
been 20
Oh,
weeks. It has been 20 whole weeks. But yeah, the chemistry and just, you know, creating those friendships. That's what I love about Twitch, man, is we've made friends for life. Like I would feel comfortable enough with you to like invite you into our house, you know, like if you want to come stay with us for a weekend or something and come hang out and meet everybody, meet all our friends and stuff. Like we have opened our home so many times for Twitch friends in the past, and like they're friends for life, you know, and like we met these people on the internet, and back in the 90s saying that would be like so fucking weird, you know.
Oh, you met them on the internet? How did you know they're not a creep?
Yeah, how do you know they're not like a murderer or something? One of our favorite jokes with Infinite Amber, the first time, and she knew Dan IRL before we met Amber. And the first time Amber ever came to our house to hang out, like she messaged us in the driveway and she was like, "Hey, I'll be in a second. I'm messaging my husband the address and where I'm at just in case you guys are murderers." And I was like, "Oh damn, we'll have to murder you next time." Like,
shit, we'll have to hide all the murder tools.
Yeah,
we'll have to do it next time.
And so like years later, it's just we bring the joke back up every once in a while. It's like, oh shit, Amber, we're getting together this weekend. You want to get murdered? Like
Well, like I think back to how, speaking of like the 90s and stuff, our parents used to tell us, don't talk to strangers, don't get into weird cars with strangers. And then what happens? The internet happens and we're talking to strangers online, and Uber happens and we're getting into cars with strangers.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's so fascinating, because I wanted to talk about how the internet has progressed in just like the past 10 years alone, even like
past 3 years, just since COVID.
Yeah, past 3 years. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I think about when I was in high school compared to now, and not much time has passed in the grand scheme of things. But I remember having my first flip phone that couldn't do basically shit, and now I have a basically literal computer in my hand. Yeah. And not much time has passed when you think about it.
I had a pager in high school. That shit went off twice in a whole year. I carried that thing around for a whole year, kept it charged all the time. It went off twice, and both times it was my mom.
Once was my mom, the other time was my other mom.
Everybody else had cell phones. Everybody else had the Nokias, the brick Nokias. I was the only kid in high school that had a pager. I think I had one of the last pagers that went into...
You work in a hospital? What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Paging Dr. Opto. Oh, man.
Ooh, I'd see that. I'd watch that show.
Yeah, I think something's fucked up with this dude. We're gonna have to get him to a hospital.
That doesn't seem very scientific, doctor.
Well,
this dude's fucked up, going on the medical chart.
Yep. I used ChatGPT to get my degree. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. I hereby certify Optometron as a registered doctor.
Yep.
He got his doctorate off the internet.
You got it from the University of Phoenix online. Like,
it reminds me, I don't know why this reminded me of this really specific time, this really specific reference to Toy Story. The original Toy Story came out, and you know when all the toys are being operated on and everything with Sid, and when they're in the bag, Buzz and Woody are in the bag, like looking out. Buzz says the most incredible line. He's like, "I don't believe that man has ever been to medical school." That's what it reminded me of when you told me that. You're like, I got my degree with GP online. I'm like, I don't believe that man has ever been to medical school.
I've never been to medical school. Yeah, I'm not I'm not a registered doctor. I barely play one on TV. Peach Optimos and the movie Tron. Okay.
So good.
I'm not an optometrist. So good. I've never been to medical school.
That's okay. I'm not a real queen. I hate to break everybody's shattered illusions.
Oh, shit.
I know.
That's it. End the episode.
The illusion's shattered. Not a real queen. Sorry. And I
thought everybody was supposed to tell the truth on the internet.
That's the other thing. You're supposed to lie on the internet. And now everybody knows everybody's business. It's crazy.
I kind of think that is cool. It does make it harder to it does make it harder to like fake who you are on the internet. And I do.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about getting into like Ubers, because like
Yeah.
Uber, the concept is very normal. People do it all the time, but it is still kind of scary. Meeting people online is still kind of scary. But it makes it a lot harder to fake that when you can look at somebody's entire life on like Twitter or Facebook, and you can see everything that they've done since the time that they signed up for the platform. And if it's somebody that's only had an account for like a month, you're like, yeah, nope.
Yeah, no thanks. It kind of helps. That's what I like about Twitch's feature, where you can see how long someone's account has been opened. And thankfully, I have like it's either bots that I have in my channel or Twitch itself. You can kind of set parameters to be like, you can't chat or follow me once your account is X amount old. And I
Right.
think that's like the smartest thing that we need to do is implement more stuff like that. Like, you can't be a troll on the internet unless your account is a year old.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There needs to be some accountability there. Oh man. Well,
Which is hard on the internet.
Oh god, we're not going to open that can of worms.
We don't have to.
Oh,
That's
man.
a whole other show.
Dude, that's a whole nother episode. But there's a message there. People, don't be assholes and don't be creepy on the internet. Yeah. Don't
be
message
creepy.
people.
Anything away from this podcast, don't be creepy on the internet.
Don't be creepy on the internet. Yeah.
Be yourself and you will meet amazing people.
That's true. Yes. There it is. There's what I was looking for. Be yourself. Be yourself. Unapologetically you,
Absolutely.
And there's a tribe out there for you. You will find your people, and you will thrive in that environment. That's what's awesome about the internet.
Yes.
But we are at the hour mark. We are at
No
the
way.
end of the episode. I know, it's crazy.
My
It feels like we
gosh.
started 5 minutes ago. And
I agree. I'm like, I feel like, come on, I got 2 more hours in me. Let's do this.
I would love to just keep this going. You are definitely going to be back on. You are going to be one of the first people that I hit up to come back on for a second round, because this is
It'd be a
incredible.
treat.
This has been wonderful. I do have something that we typically do at the end of each episode, and this is kind of a fun thing I like to do.
I'm excited.
I'm going to put you on a pedestal. Or god damn it, every episode I say pedestal. I mean podium. But
Ooh.
yeah, you can imagine it as a pedestal though if you want to.
Okay.
I
cool.
just get those 2 P words mixed up. Podium.
Yeah.
I'll put you on a podium in front of 1 million people, okay? And you get a chance to say your piece to 1 million people. Now, some people in the past have gone with mental health awareness. Some people have gone politics. Some people have shouted themselves out. Niku Senpai's was one of my favorites, and he literally just said "mommy milkers." It's so fucking good. It was so good. And yeah, so there is no wrong answer here. If you want to shout yourself out, or if you want to give your message to the world, whatever you want to do. But
now I feel on the spot. This whole thing has been like, this whole thing has just been like brain ramblings, and now that I'm put on the spot, I'm kind of just like a deer in headlights. Like, oh god, what do I talk about?
That's why I do it at the end. That's why we don't start with this. We end with
smart.
this. So
you don't give all your heavy attacks right at the beginning.
Yep. No, this is my one heavy attack. So it is your chance to say whatever you want to say to 1 million people. What would you say?
That's really difficult. I would just say I'm going to kind of keep with the theme of be true to yourself, and take it from me, who I've just entered a new decade, and my 20s were all about living and learning and making those mistakes, and just keep trying and failing. Like, everyone's 20s are a mess. And if you're not in your 20s yet, they're going to be a mess. Just take it from me, take it from a lot of people that you ask. Your 20s are your time to make those mistakes, because when you're 30, you're not going to be able to make those mistakes anymore. So you got to learn from those mistakes to bud yourself into the human that you want to be. And I'm very thankful to enter this new decade with the people that I have and the support system that I have offline and online. And I feel like just stay true to yourself, and everything else will come really.
Hell yeah. Hell yes. This has been the most wonderful season finale that I could have ever hoped for. So thank you so much, Queen. This is the last episode of the Blue season. So season 2.
Blue's my favorite color too. Yep. So this is perfect.
Hell yeah. So this is the end of the blue season, and next week starts the green season, season 3.
Ooh.
So we are keeping with that theme just to kind of mix it up. So every season's going to have a theme. This has been incredible. Thank you again, Queen. You were wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me the time and energy, and I love you, dude. You're
absolutely
great.
I love you too, Queen. You were incredible. Dude, it was so much fun playing video games, podcasts, all of it. Incredible. We need to do that. I'm gonna say it. We need to do this more often, and I mean it. We need to do this more often.
Yes, so. And not 6 months later.
Not 6 months later. Yeah. But everybody at home, thank you guys for tuning in. Please go check out my friend Queen of Pockets. She is incredible. Her Twitch thing is right there below her. Go follow her Twitch. Go show some love, show some support, and we will see you next time on Wonder Bathos.